So, yo, let me ask you a question. How do you do Zoom live? No, we're not live.
Okay, we live. We're about to go live right now. Okay, and we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of the People's Podcast. We have two great panelists, a great couple that I look forward to learning their love story with you all today. That's Brother Elijah and Sister Saudia. First of all, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
This means a lot to me that you all would take time out of your busy schedule and come on and let us know your love story from afar. I've known Brother Elijah through drill and through security, but this is my first time having interaction with Sister Saudia. The first question we always want to know is who chose on who first? Who made the first move?
It was Elijah.
Okay, so Elijah, how did it happen?
How did it happen?
Tell the truth.
Man, I guess it happened the way that it happened. Man, it's a weird way that it happened. But the way that it really happened was, all right, so Brother Alton, right? We were all supposed to go to Los Angeles. Like he wanted to send all of New York to go to LA.
Okay.
I was living at my grandmother's house. I had like 2 jobs, and my grandmother's really hardcore about work. So I was like, yeah, I'm about to go to LA. She shut that down. Now you're not going, whatever the case may be.
Okay.
Going out, it was like a big thing. So I wound up not being able to go that summer, but everybody went to LA. And so, Tariq, Kazim, and all of my close people there, they called me every day, yo, it's so cool, all the people, they love the family, they love that environment.
Yeah.
The believers in LA were so tight. And, at that time, I think I'm like 16, 17. So, the main thing is, what's the situation with the sisterhood? Like, what's going on? Like, how's that looking out there? So, you'll see like group pictures, things of that nature, whatever the case may be. So I'm talking to people, just want to know who's who. I'm asking, who's this person? I knew some of the sisters, whatever the case may be. The ones I didn't know, I want to find out, who's that one? What's going on? So long story short, I saw Saudia. And, I asked one of my men, Kazim, I said, brother, who's that? Introduce me to that. I want to, I kind of want to, see what she's about. So he's like, oh, that's my P. He's very dramatic or whatever. So, I guess he called or whatever the case may be. We connected on like AIM or something like that, and she didn't want to talk for a while. For trying to curve me, but that's kind of how that worked. I just wanted to find out more about her.
Yeah, he started like messaging, like commenting on everything that I posted on Facebook, and I started to be like, why is this person always like commenting to me? And then he started like, DMing me, like talking to me here and there, and I was definitely curving him. I was like, no, I'm not thinking about that, And then we really built like a friendship, and that's like the best part of it was we became really good friends. And we talked all the time. I love that it was like long distance because that's what made us have more of a friendship. We were just talking on the phone all the time, getting to know each other. And that's how it just kind of bubbled into effect.
Okay, excellent. And thank you all for your story. My sister Miriam sends the greetings, like Salam Mimi. Sister Medina Chin says, hey. Okay. My next question is, what would you all? Well, first of all, I got to get this, Sister Saudia. What made you stop curving, Brother Elijah? What made you stop? What made you finally give a chance?
We like talked on like Facebook and like Twitter for like a few months, to be honest, and then he like kept being like let's text, like give me your number, and I kept being like, no, I'm not comfortable with that, no. And then like I remember talking to Sister Aisha and Sister Jalila, and they're like, you're gonna like him, like don't give him your number, you guys are gonna like each other. And I'm just like, well, he's such a nice guy. Like, he's so cool. Like, I liked his personality. He was just so sweet all the time. And so, yeah, then I ended up giving him my number and we started like texting all the time. And it was really innocent. Like that. And that's what I loved about it. It was like, it was genuine. It wasn't like him just like trying to just get at me. Like, it was like, no, I really want to get to know you.
Okay. All right. So Brother Elijah had a smooth setup. Okay, that's good. That's good. Sister Amira Hakeem says, "Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam." But Damien is laughing, and Sister Valerie says, "Assalamu alaikum." She loves y'all. And wa alaikum salam, Naima. Thank you for holding it down. Boom, my sister Naima says agreed. Okay, my next question is, what was you all's first date like?
You remember our first date?
Yeah, I think we went to like Applebee's or something, or TGI Fridays or Chili's or one of those.
That was like our second date. Our first date actually was with other people. Like, we like were like being like, oh, people are gonna chaperone us type of thing. So we went with like we went with kind of like a group of people, and then we like went to IHOP. But then the first time we ever like had a date alone, it was Chili's, and we just ate. I remember I dipped my French fry in his ketchup, and like he didn't say anything. And then I got another French fry, I dipped it in, and he's like, you know what? I just have to say this. I don't like people sharing ketchup with me. And I remember that being like super hilarious to me. And yeah, we just talked. It was fun.
Okay, perfect. Okay, all right. Aisha K says she was there.
Yeah, she was there.
Jalila says she remembered, and Amir Hakim says she can't hear Elijah. Okay, Elijah, you gotta. She's saying she can't hear you a little bit. Up. Yes, sir. Okay, so we'll start with you on this one, brother Elijah. How did your parents feel about Sister Saudia? Did they approve?
The truth is, no, I don't think they really approved at first. All right, so as you might not know, but my parents are very strict. Or at least at that time, they were very strict on a lot of on their household, the way that they ran their household. So growing up, I didn't really, I never brought any girls to the house or anything like that. I kept that kind of separate from that world of this house. So when I first brought Saudia over, I did tell them that a friend is coming. I didn't explain that it was a girl, and I didn't explain it like I could talk vague sometimes. So that's kind of how it was. So it went over the head of my parents to where they didn't think anything like of it. Like, it was like a random. So then when she did come over to the house to meet my parents, it was kind of like a
it was super awkward.
Yeah, it was kind of like a oh yeah, no, sweet, you know. And at the same time, I was just young and I dropped out of college. I was just I was just doing whatever I wanted to do, so they seen that, like, I was just enjoying life at that time. So my dad, being who he is, he knows me. So he's like, who is this person? And he's like, I don't know. It was just like an awkward situation. So they didn't really approve of her really ever.
And I have very strict parents as well, so I can understand that a little bit. When you have strict parents and you care about their approval to an extent, what made you still pursue her even though they didn't approve?
I don't think I could say I cared about their approval like that. That wasn't my thing, because I wasn't really. So there's a lot of us in the house too. So for me, I was always gone. As soon as I graduated high school, I was gone. I left. So I wasn't really home like that. That was just a summer that I was home. It was just like a random summer that I'm back now. I'm 19, 20. I don't live here no more. I'm back, and okay, I'm leaving anyway. It was like that type of thing. Oh yeah. Don't worry about whatever they say. I'm gone. I'm leaving anyway. So it wasn't really like an approval. It wasn't. I don't know. I just do whatever I want to do, I guess.
Okay. So Elijah was out there being Tupac. Okay, I get it.
Something like that. I was just looking, coming in, like coming home, sleeping, then leave for like whatever, somewhere else, just go here, move here. I was just like that at that time. Like, so I wasn't looking for approval. I was more so just existing and enjoying life and making it, I don't know. And, there's a lot more beyond, at that time, too. I'm like 19, 20, so I'm my dad's first son who is 19, 20, which is new, right? It's not like now he has other sons who are getting there, so he knows how to maneuver in that situation. So everything was new for everybody at that time. He had the daughters who obviously are going to stay under the wing of the household. As soon as I left high school, I was gone. I was like, I'm going away to school. I don't want to be home. I don't, like, no, I don't think it's too many people that, so that even when I come home, I'm here for a week and I'm gone. Like, where are you going? I was like, I'm leaving, What do you mean where I'm going? I'm good, you guys gave me all the tools, I'm good, don't worry. I got this. Which is a good thing, bad thing.
All right. Well, I'm gonna read some of the comments. Thank you, Brother Elijah. My sister Naima says she's been there before. Amir Hakeem said it's awkward as F. Says Medina Chen says, okay. So society, how was it when, first of all, how did you feel about his parents not approving you? How did that make you feel?
I felt really awkward, because initially Elijah had told me, he told them I was coming. So him saying I told them a friend was coming, I like really asked him, like, did you tell them that it's like a girl? Like, do they know that you're like interested in me? Like, do they know? Like, he's like, yeah, like made it really casual. So, so when I came, everybody was just like, who are you? Like, what do you want? You're from California? Like, you came all the way to New York. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Like, I'm a really nice person, like that's I was trying to just like, like show my personality, and I felt really awkward at first. And I remember his dad played for me the Cosby Show episode where Vanessa brought home her fiance, and remember he said it's like presenting food on a trash can. He's like, this is like how it is, because we didn't even know anything about you, and then he's just coming like, this is a girl I'm interested in, and it's like, we didn't even know you existed, and that was weird. I went home feeling a little awkward, but we kept going on with our relationship, so it's like eventually they're just gonna have to like me.
Okay. And sometimes, from my experience and my understanding of some of the homies and my sisters and siblings and things of that nature, sometimes that actually works for the relationships when the parents disagree, because like, oh no, it's Bonnie and Clyde, it's us against the world type situation. Sister Saudia, how did your parents approve of Brother Elijah?
Yeah, they liked him a lot.
Okay.
It was when I just told them, like, I like this person. I told them about him, and they were just like, okay. that was pretty much it.
Okay, cool. Elijah, how was your interaction with her parents?
It was cool. I mean, I'm very, I know how to talk to adults or parents or anyone older than me, so it wasn't awkward.
Okay. All right. My next, and thank you all for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. Mimi says, ouch, and Ariane says, oh Lord. My next question is, who said I love you first?
I think it was me, but I don't remember, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was her. I mean, I know it's hard, I'm pretty sure it was her. She's very in touch with her feelings. So.
Okay.
So. Yeah, I think it was me.
All right.
And I know he probably felt super awkward, like, oh, okay.
Okay, Brother Elijah, I want to know about the proposal. What made you know it was time to propose, and how did you propose?
All right. Yeah, that wasn't I didn't really propose.
Yeah, he didn't.
You know, like I didn't really do the whole movie proposal. That whole thing. That wasn't really my. I don't know. I'm not really. I'm not. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know.
He's not romantic.
Okay.
Like that in that sense. So I guess what happened was.
Wait, Elijah, they saying they can't hear you, bro. They saying they can't hear you.
You gotta talk louder.
Can they hear me now?
Yes, sir, they can. Yes, sir, they can.
All right.
I talk loud. You gotta talk loud.
I guess at that time, we just were talking for a while. And, you know, we got close. We kind of knew what the situation was. And it was just like, okay, let's just do this now.
That literally was like that. He was just like, I think we should get married. And I was like, yeah, I know. Like, we've already established we're going to get married. Like, yeah. And he's like, no, like, I'm saying, like, let's get married, like, now. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, like, let's do it. Like, let's just get married. And then we just went to Justice of the Peace and we got married.
Okay. Now, how do you? Okay, now I'm gonna go these. Am I saying your name right? Is it Saudia or Sadia? Because Elijah.
Saudia.
Saudia. Okay, I was about to.
Yeah.
All right. So this is Saudia. How did your parents feel and your family feel when you told them that you got married at the Justice of Peace?
Woo! My mom, she was like that's cute, you know, like, okay, I understand or whatever. Okay. My dad, it took him a while to like actually tell me how he felt, but he like told me that it had hurt his feelings because he was like, I didn't get to walk you down the aisle, and like I only have daughters, so that's like the only thing that I can do for you guys, you know. I felt really bad. Like I was like, I'm sorry, Dad. Like that, I totally get what you're saying. Like, but they were happy for me, other than my dad feeling like, why didn't you let me be there?
Okay, and Brother Elijah, how did your family feel when you gave them the great news that you went to the Justice of Peace?
His family was there. We were
good.
Yeah. They were happy.
Okay. Sister Amira says sad. I guess she's speaking on behalf of your family that they were sad. I guess
yeah.
Okay. All right. My next question is, okay, boom, get the proposal, boom, and boom. How did you know? We'll start with you, Brother Elijah. How did you know that she was the one?
How did I know that she was the one?
Yes, sir.
I don't know how to answer that question. That's a weird question. How do I know that she was the one? It was just, I guess it was the amount of time and effort that we had kind of put in, like the work, right? So, yeah, it was like the work and effort. You know, you made it this far. Why give up or why not? You know, it's like there's nothing that says don't, right? So if nothing says don't, it was like, so do, right?
Okay.
So it was more so in that light of the time, you know, the type of future life that I have aspirations for, and the circumstances of life that I am striving to be, you know, to put pressure on myself. You know, a lot of things that, you know, you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations in order to grow sometimes, you know. So it was just all of that. And I just at that time was, I knew it was going to be, you know, a rough road, but I just feel like that. You know, I like to go after the challenge. And I don't know. It was just like, all right, so there's no, like, I don't have no negative, you know, so why not? If that makes any sense.
I know that does. Okay, and Sister Saudia. I mean, yeah. Saudia.
Yeah,
how did you know?
For me, it's weird. Like, I feel like a lot of women, like, we just, like, know way before the guy knows.
Okay.
I feel like I knew, like, maybe like 6 months in, I was like, oh, I'm gonna marry him. I just have to wait for him to ask. But I'm gonna marry him. I already know. Like it was quick and easy and then and instant for me.
Okay. I'm really glad I did this interview. I never saw this side of Elijah. I never knew that he's so quiet. I didn't know he was this cool dude. I never knew. All right. My next question for you is, Brother Elijah, what has been your greatest trial in marriage, and how have you all overcome that?
My greatest trial?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my greatest trial is what is the word? Being empathetic about feelings and emotions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I try to think very analytical. 1, 2, I took to the extreme to rise above my emotions into the thinking of God. So I really took that to an extreme level.
Okay.
Which has to force me to, that's what the balance of the world is. That's what a woman brings to, the table is the balance, right? My father is a doctor who sees a lot of people die all the time. So he doesn't really, we're not emotional. My mom is definitely not like the mom who's gonna come and just like be super emotional, like all day long. So I know that that's a big, a missing piece in the puzzle of my life. So with the type of person I'm married to, or anybody, whatever, with, Saudia in this case, she's actually on the total opposite scale of emotion. Based on a feeling and an emotion on a moment to moment, day to day. So, it's a big, huge hurdle that we have to always overcome every day almost. But I know for me, it's part of the test of life. Like, it's just, it's inevitable. Like, I don't know.
Growth.
It's growth. It's the pain of growth, and resistance brings strength. So, I'll get better one day.
Yes, sir. All right. Sister Amira Hakeem says Aries. I guess you're saying that because you're Aries. Sister Valerie says Aries for life. Okay, Virgo's up in here too now. We don't just do all this Aries stuff. Sister Saudia. Yes, ma'am. What has been your greatest trial, and how have you overcome it?
I would say my greatest trial in marriage has been me always trying to make sure I don't lose myself. Because when you get married and you start having children, you're so focused on your spouse and your children, and you wake up one morning and you're like, what have I done for myself? Who am I other than being a mother and being a wife? That's been my hardest thing, because it seems like every time I have a child, I lose a little bit of myself because I get wrapped up in what I have to do, and then I'm trying to find like the things that always made me happy, and still trying to be the same person that he's always liked and that I liked about myself.
Yes,
so that's been my biggest trial, and it's constant.
Okay, all right. And since Aisha K says, teach Saudia. All right, now next, brother Elijah, what has been your greatest joy about being married?
The greatest joy. That's to me, that's like a very, it's like almost like happiness, right? You can't really pinpoint the greatest joy because it's not like a thing that you can like touch, right?
Yes, sir.
I guess it's like more of an idea, right? To me, it's like bigger. It's like, okay, so the greatest joy is almost like the idea of comfort, the idea of having someone always there.
Yeah.
Someone to be there when you need them there. It's weird, like a security factor of my life. I could go out, go get beat up in the world, lose, whatever, bad things can happen to me, whatever. But then when I come home, I have a family, right? Which is the foundation of a nation, right? So to have a family is actually, to me, very important. And I don't know, like that's the greatest joy. You know, it's not like I can't pinpoint what I'm talking about. Like, if that makes any sense, it's like the idea of security, because it's not like every day we're super happy and just, you know, whatever. Like it's not always good times, not that. But it's the idea of I have something to go to. I could do this, you know, this is there, you know.
Okay, no, that definitely made sense. Security blanket.
Yeah.
All right, for sure. All right, and for you, sister, what has been your greatest joy?
My greatest joy, I would say, watching my children with him. That's my greatest joy. I've come from a broken home, so seeing my children and how much they love him and how much he loves interacting with them and how much fun they have together, that brings me a lot of joy, like an intense amount. I love, you know, like they love being with him. So I feel like they love him more than they love me, but they love being with him. And that, I love just watching him interact with them. That brings me an intense amount of joy. Having, you know, just like it's a family. It really is family. That brings you just joy. It's like it's our little tribe of little Muslims.
That's beautiful. Brother Amir says something like him to Brother Elijah as well. Okay, speaking of children, Brother Elijah, this is a question I had to started adding into my temple of questions because of Brother Tariq from from New York. He said that he almost fainted being in the room, seeing the children and things of that nature, you know, all of that. How did you handle, were you in the room and how did you handle that?
I thought I handled it very well. You know, I was in the room at, I think, every one of my 4 children. And I was just ready for it. It's like going to war. It's like, this is what we're about to do. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like the first one was the most shocking for him. Because I remember I was pushing and he's like, oh, look, it's almost happening. And then the baby came and he was like, whoa! And like, he like shot back because it was so shocking to him. And then after that, I remember initially he had said, like, I don't want to see that. I'll be at your shoulder. I'm not going to watch you give birth. That's so weird. And then when I actually was in labor, he was right there. And he was such a great teammate. He's a great coach. Like, he's right by my side. He's right in my ear the whole time. Like, he's like, I feel like that's the best thing we've ever done together is every time we've had children, we're just like, we're the most solid team.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, that's good, man. That's good. Because some of us be out here being nervous, bro. All right. Okay. Speaking of being nervous, Brother Elijah, what advice would you give to future husbands?
What advice? Future husband. Wow, that's a hard question. I guess the advice I would say is future husbands. I mean, I would just tell them you gotta treat it not like you're looking for a constant like I have this you know, like if I talk to like guys who are single or whatever, they have a perception like it's always going to be happy or always, shouldn't your wife always make you feel, you know, like happy all the time? And I think that's like a myth. Like, I really do think that's like a myth. And I think that, you know, I used the analogy the other day. I was talking to my parents. Like, it's like, you know, sending a plan to go on a road trip to Disney World. And it's all like paid. Everything is happy. You're excited. Yo, this is what we're about to do. You hop in the car. You start driving. You live in like California. You're going all the way to Florida. You know, and you're driving in a small car. And yeah, after the hour, the song is blasting, you feeling good. After 4 hours of this, it's like, yo, Are we there yet? Yo, I think this is a bad move, man. It's not no more about the Disney World trip. You have to keep that idea in the forefront of your brain to reach a destination. And the destination, you know, in this sense, is never going to be reached, right? So the journey you have to enjoy. Like, the journey you have to endure, you have to enjoy the moments that you could enjoy. You got, you know, because sometimes on a car road trip, you're gonna have funny times. Things are gonna happen that's funny. Then, you know, soon you're gonna want to kill the person next to you. Then the next moment you're gonna, you know, then it's gonna be something cool. The sun's gonna come out. You're like, man, this is a good thing. I'm happy we're doing. Man, then the music goes after you get your ice cream or your food. You stop. You know, it's those ups and downs that is real. It's the cycle of life that you have to be prepared for. You got to know that, yeah, it's sunny today, but tomorrow can rain. And then the winter's going to come. Then it might be cold for like 2 weeks. Then after that, it's going to be the spring again. And then it's going to be summer. It's going to be nice. Then, you know, whatever. And then it's going to go back. And then it's going to go back. And it's, you know, so you have to, for a husband, they have to understand that reality. Because that is the only way they will endure the period of time, right? Because it could potentially be worst case scenario. It could be a year, right? Like that you're having ups and downs, you know, where it's like, yeah, every day we're having some sort of conflict. But that's not important, right? Because after, if you live to be 100 years old, if you had 1 year of a bad year, did you really affect that year? But can you endure that year? And then that year becomes like, okay, I learned from a year to not repeat myself, right? That's the biggest thing. It's almost like going to the gym. It's like doing anything. When you're doing it, you're not doing it for not the pain, right? You're doing it to get the result. The pain might come, you might do this, whatever the case, you know, you might love it. You might love that pain. Some people love pain more than I do, but I don't love pain. So sometimes, but then that's why you have the good thing about growing up in the Nation of Islam, or me coming from the type of family, or whatever the case may be, I have being around people. It's nothing new underneath the sun. So any issue, any problem, you could go to somebody, get a relief factor, get your drink of water if you were in the gym or whatever, and you could be like, oh, okay, I can do this, right? Now, the hard part is if you're not in that circle. So you have to surround yourself with people who can help you get to that phase so that you can keep growing. So you can't be the same person who you were prior to marriage, because that's not going to be productive for you, right? Yeah, you can still associate talk here and there, but that's not going to help you. That's not going to benefit the goal that you're trying to get to. If you're really serious about getting to the goal, right? You have to have that determining factor, that desire, they say, to reach a goal. But the reality is the goal of marriage will never be reached until after it's done. You don't know. We're not really physical beings, right? You're more spiritual. So marriage, we're married on day one, right? Yeah, we're married, but that's not marriage. Marriage is the after the end, and you know, we're not here anymore. And my children can say, my parents are married, and this is what they produce, the idea that they produce. We have children, and they have children, and that, you know, they go farther. So that's what I would really just say. Like, they would have to understand the reality of the journey. It's not the result.
It's not easy.
It's not the result. It's the journey. The journey is what matters.
Okay, great. And thank you very much for your great advice and your transparency and honesty. Sister Medina Chin says, good analogy, bro. Sister Dalila says, facts, Eli, and you have to grow. Okay, now for you, sis. What advice would you give to future wives?
For me, I feel like I have like so many, so I'm gonna try and bring it in.
Yes, ma'am.
I would say to know your expectations and say that clearly of what you want, and knowing that, you know, like, you're the prize in the whole thing. You know, you don't have to always fully compromise, you know, who you are just because you want to be with someone. And I would also say to make sure you have time for yourself and knowing yourself, because that, you can't love other people without loving yourself. And I would definitely say taking the time to just be married before jumping into having children, because children change the whole dynamic of marriage. So like being able to just spend time with your spouse unlimited amounts of time, that would be my advice.
Okay, yes, ma'am. And speaking of spending time with your spouse, Brother Elijah, what do you do for fun together, and what do you do for fun by yourself?
Fun, right? Whoa, fun. Yeah, that's fun anymore. I don't know what fun is. No, I guess what we do together that's fun. Wow, what do we do? Well, right now we've been on this like bike riding thing where we ride bikes every night, so that's pretty fun. Right? I guess that's fun. So we do that. We eat ice cream, watch movies sometimes. Ice cream every night, almost. You know. Yeah, I do, but she's there.
I'm there.
And I guess we just sometimes just chill and barbecue and just
talk.
And I guess that's fun, right? I don't have nothing else to do. And then what I do for fun is I work out, I play basketball, I play chess, I read, you know, like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes, sir. Okay, well, Elijah, I heard that you was, a hooper. I didn't know you played chess. I play chess as well. I didn't know you played chess.
Yeah, I'm right now. I'm pretty decent.
Okay. All right. And for you, ma'am, what do you do for fun together and separate?
Elijah and I have a lot of fun, like just talking. We pillow talk a lot, and we find ourselves like cracking up about the dumbest stuff right before bed. And I feel like that's something that has kept us really close, because we just talk and we laugh, and then we go to sleep, and that's nice. And then what else do we do together? Yeah, I mean, with COVID happening, we haven't been going on dates really, but like before COVID and stuff like that, we would like to like go to a restaurant. We would do that a lot. Go to the city a lot, just to walk around, sit at the beach, sit at the park, just to spend some alone time without our 4 children hounding us.
That's also fun.
Yeah. And then for myself, what do I do? I listen to a lot of music.
Okay.
And I do yoga, which is nice. And I go to the grocery store by myself. That's like something for me to do. And I actually like doing that. Like I'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the store. I don't mind. I'll go alone. Nobody's coming with me, just me. That's my fun stuff.
And we play video games.
Facts. We do play video games.
Okay, what video games do y'all play? I like to play video games. What video games do y'all like to play?
I'm huge on Animal Crossing on the Switch.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
I do like Smash Brothers and stuff with the children. He plays a lot of like Mario Kart and like Mario games with them. Oh, and then he's Call of Duty all the time.
Yeah, Call of Duty.
And I'm not good at Call of Duty. I don't know how to move and shoot at the same time. I always end up looking at the ground. It's too hard for me.
Yeah, I get that. I get that a lot. Okay, I want to thank you all for watching. I have just one more question. Sorry with you, Brother Elijah. What advice would you give to hold on, let me see my sister Miriam. My sister Miriam says grocery trips without the babies are the best.
They are.
Okay. All right, well, Brother Elijah, for you, what advice would you give to single people? You don't have to be a man or a woman, just single, just in general.
What advice would I give to single people?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
About what though? What kind of
because a lot of people trying to get married, looking forward to get married. Quarantine got a lot of people in their feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fact.
You know what I'm saying? So they, what advice would you tell them?
I mean, best advice you could get is to keep learning about yourself, right? Like,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
really the best advice to do in like this type of time, especially like you said, quarantine and all of that. You know, the more you know yourself, the more confident you are, and the more confident you are, the more you're able to achieve the goal or get whatever desire you want. If it is i.e. a girl or a guy or whatever, a lot of times you're nervous to pursue because of an unknown, right? And when you know yourself, there's a whole lot of confidence there that it's like, I could, you know, I know what I want. I know my value, you know, and when you know your value source, then it's like, you know, it's like saying, you know, when you walk into an Apple store, you know you got to put some, you know, you put some money up. You know, that ain't no cheap store right there. You know, you're not about to go looking for bargains. You're going in there looking for play top dollars. You look for bargains in Walmart. That's what they promote. You know, so if you know your value source, then you know where you are able to make that exchange happen, wherever it is, whatever it is that you want. You know, if you want this type of person, you got to be this type of person. You can't want something and not put in that effort and that work and that
not be the reflection.
Yeah, not be that. You you know, you gotta literally put in that work. And this is absolutely the best time, because when you're, you know, when it's not quarantine or stuff like this isn't happening, a lot of times we're stuck with a routine of life, and life is beating us up, right? Bills, life, school, whatever, work, whatever you're doing, you're more focusing on that rather than self-improvement or self, you know, that's why we're taught self-improvement is the basis of community development, right? So once we understand that reality on how important that is, which, you know, the minister killed it in all the study guides, and he had, you know, that's one of my favorite courses of study in the nation has been the study guide. But those study guides show that you can have a nice building, but if the people are inside, it's going to eventually deteriorate because the people aren't going to upkeep the building, right? So you may want something, but how do you keep that balance? How do you, you know, handle it, and how do you achieve those desires? You got to work at it. You know, there's nothing impossible for us. We know that. Black man is God.
That's right. Okay, that's right, brother. That's right, brother. That's more of the brother Elijah that I knew. You know what I'm saying? The brother serious and all the time teaching. Okay. But Vince has a question. We'll start with you, Sister Sadia. I'm going to butcher your name. I'm sorry, but then we're going to start with you, and then we come with you. Brother Vince wants to know in these different times.
Who wants to know what?
Brother Vince. He wants to know in these different times, what ways can you suggest that a couple keep the fire burning in their relationship as these times become more difficult for everyone by the day?
For me, it's just it's open communication and being open to the fact that your partner is not going to always be the same person. We're constantly changing, and getting to know the new person that your spouse is, that keeps that's to me what keeps it going. It's like I'm relearning him all the time, and to me he gets better with age, you know. So, like you're constantly open to getting to know new things out there. I constantly always like, well, even if he may not want to, it's just like, it's just keeping us always together and together in movement.
Okay, great.
That's me.
Okay, great. And for you, Brother Elijah?
Just ask the question one more time so I can answer the question.
Okay. In these different times, what ways can you suggest that a couple keep the fire burning in their relationship as these times become more difficult for everyone by the day?
In these times,
how do you keep the fire burning in a relationship?
I think you just have to be more present. I think the idea of I don't know, I'm big on this like I try to live in the moment, right? And
okay.
I try to, like I would say, I pay attention to what people say, how they say it. I listen to everything, like what's going on. So with like, let's say Saudia, there's a lot of times to keep the fire burning. I can't be somewhere else, worried about something else, living either in the past or the future, because right now something is going on. So right now, whatever it is that we're doing, I have to be there at that moment. If I agree, right? Because if I agree to what we're doing, right? If we're doing whatever it is, I'm gonna be there at that moment, you know. So I think that is helpful, because if you're worried about stuff that hasn't happened yet or things that did happen, then you're never gonna keep you can't keep a fire burning with the wind blowing. You gotta keep it kind of stand still. So at that moment, I think that's the only way. You gotta worry about the moment, the here and now. And once you worry about the here and now, you could keep figuring out, okay, maybe you might need to do this. Then you could solve the problem. Or not solve the problem, but you could keep burning the way that the fire needs to be burning, however it is,
nurturing the fire.
Nurturing it, you're building on it, you're cooling it off, you're doing whatever you have to do at that moment, so that moment, it seems like, oh man, the fire's been burning for the last year, but you're not even paying attention to the time because you're worried about the moment. You know what I mean? And I think that is my answer. You gotta worry about that moment.
Being present.
Yeah, being present is very important.
Okay, great. Well, I thank you all. Thank you for your question, Brother Vincent. Thank you all for coming on. My family really admires you all relationship, admires you all's family. I thank y'all for for being an example of a young couple, ride or die, this together and holding it strong, man. We look up to that. We support y'all. We support y'all as a family. My sister told me make sure she thank you all for, we sent children's books to y'all family, to show
praise you to Allah. Thank you so much.
Ain't nothing but love over here. We want to see everybody win.
Always.
And no matter what we go through, we want y'all to be there for us when, whatever. So thank y'all.
Always.
And thank you.
Man, brother Elijah, please, I'm not putting y'all on the spot, but please ask your moms, your parents about coming on. You know what I'm saying? We want to make that a reality.
Definitely.
Sure. and thank you all for y'all support, and thank y'all for coming on.
No problem.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, all right, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.